Hello, and welcome to episode 150 of Prog Review. And if you haven't managed to read the description, I'm going to be talking about Steve Hackett's Voyage of the Acolyte. In fact, what I'm going to be doing over the next few Prog Reviews, I did a similar thing in the summer, but I'm going to repeat myself, like you do. I repeat myself when under stress. You get the I won't do the joke, but I'm going to be looking at Hackett, and I'm going to be looking at Mr. Banksy. I'm going to be looking at Mr. Rutherford. I'm going to be looking at Mr. Gabriel, and don't worry, there will be face value for all you Phil Collins fans out there too. But yeah, I'm going to be looking at all the first solo albums from the members of Genesis, just to get me revitalised for the new year and get me back into me prog review groove after all that Christmassy stuff. Yes. Oh no, that's dated it already. I shouldn't have mentioned it. Anyway, before I start, I'm going to hand you over to Darren, who's going to show you what Voyage of the Acolyte, the rejiggered version from whenever. Was it 2005, was it? Yeah, God, 2005. Where have the years gone? We having a look at that. So, take it away, Darren.
Why, thank you, Darren. And here it is. This is Steve Hackett, Voyage Acolyte, and look, some bugger scribbled on it. And it's got a nice little slipcase. This goes back to the old 2005 remaster, as you can see. You get all the tracks on there, a couple of bonus tracks, the Charisma label, Virgin Records, and there's a barcode for those of you who like looking at barcodes. Let's remove the slipcase, and there is the original sleeve in its glory, restored and resplendent. And again, there's Steve again on the back. So let's have a look at the disc. They've kind of mimicked the famous Charisma label, Mad Hatter label there. It's all right. There's a little message there that tells you not to be naughty and download things illegally. Yeah, anyway, you can do what you will. I'm not here to preach. But yeah, you should always support your favourite artist. Like Darren Locke, he's well worth your support. But anyway, let's have a look at the booklet. And there's Steve. Let's move that out of the way. And there's Steve doing his thing, looking young and lithe. This is before the John Major years. And that's a picture of the Hermit done by Kim Poor. It's all right, isn't it? And there he is again. And there's a little essay where Hackett talks to Mark Powell. It's all rather enlightening. And there's who's on it, and there's some more of the catalogue. So that's it really. No great shakes, but well worth picking up. The audio's a lot better. The remastered version's quite good actually, so it's well worth a listen. So let's slip this all back into the case, and I'll hand you back to that fat idiot.
Well, I think you'll agree that was another informative nosegay at product for you. Oh yes, indeed. So, Voyage of the Acolyte, released October 1975. My goodness. What can I say about it? It's an essential. First of all, it's an essential purchase. I'm not, we'll forego all the formalities of coming up with a rating. I'll do it at the end, but it is an essential purchase. And Hackett brought this to market at a strange time for the band. Gabriel had tootled off to grow vegetables. And the band were kind of in upheaval. Everyone was looking, thinking, how's Genesis going to carry on without their vocalist? And Hackett, brings out this. He does a solo album, much to the chagrin of Tony Banks, I believe. He doesn't actually appear on it. He's the only member of Genesis that doesn't appear. But yeah, I mean, it's an amazing piece of vinyl or CD or polycarbonate, whatever you want to call it these days. Digital data 01000101000001. That was the opening to Ace of Wands digitally. No, it wasn't. I just made that up. Oh yes, I'm a liar. My pants are on fire. But Ace of Wands, it opens the recording, and it really is a statement of intent. And you're in. And it's just a bombardment. And it's like he throws everything at you. The kitchen sink, the family dog, it's all there. And 5 minutes 23, and it's like he's compressed every progressive rock cliche and lick into a tiny space, and I love it. I think it's brilliant. This is closely followed by Hands of the Priestess, a genteel acoustic number, the old acoustic guitar with his brother John on the flutie. There's two parts to it. It bookends A Tower Struck Down, which is heavy, man. It's a squelchy, heavy Moog, you say Moog, I say Moog. Taurus pedals, they're the big bassy things. It's kind of dominated by these very heavy, very dense. There's a cough and a parrot. Everybody loves it. I think, again, it's almost like a piss take of progressive rock, but that's why I like it. Then we have Hands of the Priestess Part 2. Again, it's more of the same. Very nice. And that leads us to the one stinker of the album. And appropriately it stinks because it's the Hermit. And Hermits, they're not noted for their cleanliness, are they? They don't mark their day with absolutions like the rest of us. So yeah, the Hermit stinks. It's probably because of Hackett's vocal. He wasn't very confident at this stage, and so his vocals tend to be a little anemic, to put it bluntly, and a little bit, out of tune. Hey, we all have that problem. That's why guitarists play guitar, yeah. Then, if it would have been an album, we'd have turned it over, or would we? I don't know. Would we have turned it over? Have I ever owned this on album? I don't think I have. I had it on cassette. I think I would have turned it over if it was as a cassette. Yeah. And then we're into Star of Sirius and a certain Mr. P-Lip Collins. Yes, little Phil himself. He drums on it. He drums on the album, and he also sings as well. And he sings on this track, and it is, whilst it's not it's not expressively a Genesis track, there are enough elements there to make you think of it. It's kind of a more poppy, upbeat Genesis. More of a direct thing. I mean, if Hackett had have stayed on, and they'd gone more pop, Star of Sirius would have been the direction. If you get me. If we're going to talk about, if we're going to theorise, that's where Star of Sirius comes from. I love it. It's very poppy. A little bit too long, 7 minutes 8. I think they could have, edited down a bit. It does go on a bit, but still good fun. Then we have another short 1 minute 50 acoustic number called The Lovers, and it's very nice. I don't know if you noticed that the thread that runs through this, the narrative thread, is of course cards from the tarot deck. Oh yes, they all like their tarot, these prog masters, don't they? Oh yeah, they all like to throw down a tarot. Oh. So anyway, that leads us into Shadow of the Aerophant. Oh, and it is an epic. It's 11 minutes 44, co-written by Mike Rutherford of Genesis, and it's just I love it so much. And one of the reasons I love it is, of course, the guest vocal from Sally Oldfield. Yes, Mike Oldfield's older sister. And she does... I get emotional thinking about it. She does the most amazing vocal on this. And especially when it just builds up and I get swept away in the crescendo. It moves me. It really does move me. And I bought this album when I was a young sprout. I could have only been about 15, I guess, 15 or 16. It was those early impressionable years, and I just got into Genesis and the Gabriel and the Fripp and all that. And then it was the Hackett, and the Hackett became a bit of a passion for me. And that's what I try and walk in his footsteps with my own dubious guitaring. But yeah, so it's an album that means a lot to me. That's why it features on the opening credits. And so yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good record. It's about 40 minutes long, so it doesn't outstay its welcome. It's the first Hackett album you should get. Don't worry about all the modern crap that he does. Just go for the classics. This is the one to purchase. The new version, you get 2 extra tracks. You get Ace of Wands live, this is alright, and you get an extended version of Shadow of Hierophant where it's 17 minutes. Apparently they just let the tape run at the original recording session. They just let the tape run and the band just blazed out, and it goes on a bit, but it's quite fun. But notable people on this, again, you get Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, John Hackett, Percy Jones, Robin Miller, Johnny Gustafson, who plays bass on this as well. all notable names. The artwork is, of course, by ex-Mrs. Kimpor, but we don't like to talk about that. Again, it's an iconic sleeve. And that's it. So in terms of a rating, I'm going to give this... it's got to be 5 Hierophants out of 5. 5 Hierophants out of 5. There's no denying it. But then I'm biased, and that's where we go. Next one up will be Peter Gabriel 1, I believe. I'm going to try and do these in chronological order for you. Peter Gabriel 1. My name's been Darren Locke. You've been watching me blabber on about Voyage the Acolyte by Steve Hackett. And hopefully you found it good fun and informative. Thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe, unsubscribe. Kiss your granny, take the dog for a walk, whatever it is you want to do. And we'll do this all again really, really soon. There's only one more thing left to say, and that is... Prog on!